You might have noticed that loads of people are ill this year. Everywhere you look, there's coughing and sneezing, and you might think, well, that's not that unusual on the run up to Christmas, and you'd be right. But what is strange is the levels. In fact, we have never seen more people in hospital with flu at this time of the year before. And the reason is a new strain of the flu virus, which is spreading fast and earlier than before. NHS bosses are worried. They're asking people to wear masks if they're feeling unwell. Some hospitals are restricting visiting hours, and one primary school in Leeds has even banned singing in assemblies. So just how concerned should we be? How bad is the flu outbreak? And how do we know if we've got it? Plus, what's the best way to protect ourselves? Let's dig into the data. This time last year, there were 1,700 people a day with flu in hospitals in England, but this year it's nearly 2,700. But, and this is an important but, those overall numbers aren't particularly high compared to the peak we would normally see in December. The big question is, have we hit the peak but just early, or are numbers still going to continue to rise? What we do know for sure is that it is spreading fast, and that may have something to do with the type of flu it is, because there are various varieties of the virus. To understand that more, we need to look south. Because flu is a global disease, it mutated throughout the southern hemisphere's winter into this new strain called H3N2 subclade K, and that's one we've not had in this country before. Because we've not had it here before, our bodies aren't as well equipped to fight it off. Remember this word?
Herd immunity.
As a population, we have fewer defences to fight this strain of the virus off, but we do have one thing in our armoury: the vaccine. More about that in a second. Schools started vaccinating back in September, but it takes a while to roll out and a bit of time for the immunity to kick in as well. So, when the virus arrived, it spread pretty quickly, first through older children, then younger children, and now it is spreading into the adult population. The vaccine is most important if you're in one of the vulnerable groups, so if you're age 65 and over, if you're pregnant, if you've got an underlying health condition like asthma, or if you're an essential carer. Everyone else can buy one privately. They're about £20 and you can get them from the pharmacy. But is the vaccine effective against this new strain of the virus? Well, that was a big concern early on. The World Health Organization has to try and predict what the winter flu will be all the way back in February, so the manufacturers have time to make the doses. That was before this subclade K came about. So there's been a nervous wait. The good news is, though, early data appears to show that the vaccine is working to an extent. So within children, it reduces the chance of hospitalisation by 70 to 75%. In adults, it's 30 to 40%, which doesn't sound that high, but is pretty comparable to previous years. The data's still at its early stage, so we won't get a full picture on those efficacy stats, as they call them, until January, but it does look like the vaccine is very much worth having if you can. It's worth saying, even if you've had the jab, immunity can take 14 days to kick in, and even after that, you still can get ill. The chances are, though, your symptoms will be less severe, and you should recover quicker. Of course, flu isn't the only winter bug doing the rounds. There's colds, and there's still the risk of COVID. So what are the different symptoms of the different diseases? Well, let's start with a common cold. The symptoms normally appear more slowly. It's a runny or a blocked nose, it's a sore throat, a more chesty, mucousy cough, and feeling pretty grotty. With flu, symptoms come on much quicker. You tend to feel absolutely exhausted, feverish, your muscles aching, and to be honest, you would be bedbound. If it's COVID, well, similar symptoms to flu, but you can also add into the mix the chance of losing your sense of smell or your sense of taste. If you think you've got the flu, the best treatment, well, it is rest, staying warm, staying hydrated, and then medicating with things like paracetamol or ibuprofen just to take the pain away. I'm afraid antibiotics won't do anything because it's a virus, so no point getting those. First port of call is your pharmacist, doctor if things are getting more serious. In terms of avoiding the disease or stopping it being passed on in the first place, well, it's all those simple hygiene measures you might remember from COVID days. Washing your hands, staying away from people if you're feeling poorly, and maybe, yes maybe, even wearing a mask.